So if you've been around the channel for any extended period of time, you're probably familiar that I was not the biggest fan of Alabama's previous offensive coordinator, Bill O'Brien. Personally, I didn't think the offense had any creativity, and I thought they relied far too much on the star power of a few select players. However, fast forward to today, and Jalen Milroe, while addressing the media ahead of the Rose Bowl, dropped an absolute bombshell about Alabama's former offensive coordinator, that Bill O'Brien had advised him not to play quarterback and to switch positions entirely because Bill O'Brien didn't think he was a quarterback, something we have got to talk about. But before we can, as always, y'all know the drill, I have got to hear from you. Hop down to the comments, give me a Y for yes, N for no. Are you like me and unbelievably happy that Bill O'Brien is far, far away from Tuscaloosa now? Let me know what you're thinking. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification as I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it, and if you enjoyed the content, be sure to like and comment down below. But having said all that, let's jump right into this. And typically, I don't do videos like this, but this was one of the times I heard something that I could not help myself. It was one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. And for Bill O'Brien to be an offensive coordinator to tell Jalen Milroe that is absolutely ridiculous. Because let's be very real here. Jalen Milroe's growth this season has been nothing short of amazing, and he is proving to everybody that he is one of the most gifted players in the nation, as well as being one of the most gifted quarterbacks in the nation. That's how much ability he has. And personally, I am of the belief that he is just now scratching the surface of what he can be. And after hearing what Bill O'Brien told him, it's no shock that it took Tommy Rees for Jalen Milroe to start becoming the quarterback he knew he could always be. Because if you are a quarterback, if you are relying on somebody to be a mentor to you and they flat out tell you they don't believe in you, you're going to have a hard time moving the needle, especially when that person isn't great at running an offense anyways, as we could see from Alabama's offense last year and the lack of creativity. What Bill O'Brien said was appalling to me, and it's appalling to me for several different reasons. First and foremost, he was dead wrong, and now we see that. We look at Jalen Milroe this season. He is having an unbelievable year where he's passed for over 2,500 yards on a year where he has been developed periodically as the year has gone on because of what Bill O'Brien did not do. We have seen the growth of Jalen Milroe with Tommy Rees because of what Bill O'Brien did not do. And now we fast forward to the end of the season. And Jalen Milroe is one of the most gifted players in the nation, one of the most talked about players in the nation, and will be one of the odds-on early betting favorites to win the Heisman Trophy in 2024. And if he continues his development and his trajectory that he has under Tommy Rees, watch out. Because if you think he's dangerous now, wait until he continues to work with a guy that actually believes in him. And then you had Tommy Rees speaking about Jalen Milroe, and he said something that stood out to me. He said Jalen Milroe's path, Jalen Milroe's development has been nothing short of incredible, and it has nothing to do with me. All credit goes to Jalen Milroe. Notice the difference in how an offensive coordinator talked about a player? If you are a coach, you are a mentor, and Bill O'Brien had no prerogative to mentor Jalen Milroe. It finally took someone who was willing to be what the job requires you to be, a mentor. And now that Jalen Milroe has that, he's one of the most dangerous players in the nation and certainly one of the most dangerous quarterbacks in the nation. He's been able to carry that chip on his shoulder and use it positively, which is a true testament to the character of Jalen Milroe. You know, this whole video thus far, we've talked about his athletic ability, and I am remiss in that, and I want to take the time to apologize. Let's talk about the character of Jalen Milroe. To have heard that from your offensive coordinator and to stick around, put your nose to the grindstone, and keep working in the manner he did is commendable. And it shows why he's had the mental toughness to take the reins of the Alabama Crimson Tide, a team that, let's be honest here, that's not an easy team to take over. It's not easy to follow in the footsteps of Bryce Young, and he has more than excelled at the job. He has made this Jalen Milroe's team. And it is a team that I cannot wait to see take on Michigan. But I could not believe my ears as I'm trying to enjoy my vacation with my family, currently in Virginia, far away from the studio, and I hear Jalen Milroe say that Bill O'Brien had the nerve to tell him that he shouldn't play quarterback. Well, to quote college football nerds who put out a tweet that I couldn't agree with any more than I do, Some people think Bill O'Brien shouldn't play offensive coordinator, and hi, I'm one of those people. I had to sit there and suffer through that uncreative, inept offense last year, and thank the Lord for Bryce Young, who bailed Alabama out time and time again. If you've been around the channel, how many times did I say last year that Alabama's offense was at its best when the play fundamentally broke down and Bryce Young had to use his athleticism and his supreme gifts to bail out the offense? And it wasn't just Bryce Young, you had Jahmyr Gibbs, but it was when the play went off script. That's a pretty big indictment on your offensive coordinator when your offense is most effective when the script he has called goes out the window. So for Bill O'Brien to have said that, unfortunately, I can't say I'm as surprised as I am angry that it was said. And the reason why I said I can't say I'm as surprised as I am angry is because look at the difference in development of Jalen Milroe. Look at the difference of the young man. So many people took the small sample size he had last year with Bill O'Brien as his offensive coordinator and said he can't play quarterback. He won't be successful with Alabama. Alabama gets a new offensive coordinator, Tommy Rees, very young, and he's never worked with a quarterback with the skill set of Jalen Milroe. He worked with Tyler Buckner and those boys at Notre Dame, and that's not a shot at them, but they don't have the skill set of Jalen Milroe. They don't have the pressure of the Alabama Crimson Tide. I know Notre Dame is a nationally recognized brand, and I will grant you that. I will grant you that Notre Dame is a massive institution, and there is pressure there. Not an argument from me. It's not the same pressure that you face at Alabama. We talked about this just a few days ago. Nick Saban and Bryce Young and them boys lost 2 games last year, and you'd have thought it was Chicken Little. The sky was falling. Paul Feinbaum had the nerve to say Saban's legacy is tainted. So these expectations are not the same. Jalen Milroe took over that team, and he's led them to a college football playoff in a year where so many people thought that wasn't even a possibility, especially after the first 4 weeks. Everybody wrote them off. But Jalen Milroe refused to be wrote off. Jalen Milroe refused to be put down. Jalen Milroe has been undeniable, ladies and gentlemen. I said this weeks ago. After the USF game, I had a clip go viral on Bleacher Report where I was saying Jalen Milroe won the job without even taking a snap versus USF because he was undeniable. And ladies and gentlemen, after I heard Jalen Milroe speak today in this press conference, once again, he has won over the team and he has won over the fans because Jalen Milroe is undeniable. And in all aspects of life, strive to be undeniable. Because as we now know, there will be people, no matter how talented you are, not be willing to work with you, even if that's your mentor. So for Bill O'Brien, I am appalled that you would take on the job of mentoring someone and then tell them you're not a quarterback. And even if anybody comes to this video and says, hey, wasn't nice to hear, but maybe he was just looking out for Jalen Milroe, even if we're operating under the assumption that it was that innocent, he was still unbelievably wrong. And that alone is an indictment of his statement. I can't wait to hear from all of you because when I heard that, it struck a nerve with me. It struck a nerve with me because you signed up to be a teacher. Teach, damn it. And that's not what he did. Hop down into the comments, let me know what you're thinking. That's it. See ya.